What happened to the art community? Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Stella, but you can call me Stella. I've been on the internet for a long time now. When I was younger, around 6 to 7 years old, I liked to watch YouTube, mostly Italian channels since I wasn't fluent in English yet. And even if I only watch Minecraft content like those MVs and the Faircraft 1 and 2, whose Italian probably knows, and Roblox murder mystery gameplay, and the fact that I also had a limited time of half an hour a day for a period of time, that didn't stop me to find stuff like the MLP Smile animation and Happy Tree Friends. At that time, I also liked watching those quizzes videos and documentaries about the Titanic and other shipwrecks. Without forgetting the Gacha Life mini movies with music I couldn't even understand a single word of it. And that's not even all. The more I write, the more I remember pieces of my childhood that I had forgotten before. If we kept going talking about it, this video will turn pretty long. But then everything changed. March of 2020, just 3 months after my ninth birthday, the lockdown happened. When that happened, my school was already closed since late February. More specifically, the announcement happened on a Sunday evening before Carnevale. At first I was happy, but just a glimpse at the newspaper and I knew that we were cooked. And guess what happened? My family was slightly affected. My grandparents from my mom's side got the virus. Luckily, they got less severe form, so we were pretty much safe. And the next couple of months were spent doing schoolwork, staying at home all day, watching more Minecraft videos, and celebrating masses via Facebook live streams. Our class didn't even have online lessons, or not nearly as that. They just spammed our schoolwork to do at home and sent through sites that I don't even remember anymore, and online tests where I could have easily cheated, but didn't for whatever reason. It was very stressful. I'm autistic, and during that period, I had lots of meltdowns. My mom was actually kind of glad we didn't come back to school that year because she thought that after so many months of staying home, going back to school normally all of a sudden would have caused me the same stress. And I can't blame her. A minor inconvenience is enough to bring me to the verge of a meltdown. Me and my therapist are trying to work on that, kind of. Even in summer, they get better in Italy. And we were at least able to go outside around May. There still wasn't anything to do. A lot of the usual summer events we had didn't come back until 2022, I think. And there were 20 kids my age to begin with in my town. And I was only friends with one or two of them. I used to spend the season with my summer friends that came to our town, but that didn't happen that year for the same reason. We had the Crea, or known as grass, in other provinces, but it only lasted 2 weeks and was very boring compared to the usual ones that we luckily got back. So the internet was pretty much the only place I had, and even if it was still just YouTube until middle school, it had an impact. I stayed there for hours, watched even more videos in English, and became more fluent. Then around August, I got more obsessed with animation memes and found out about country humans. That was officially the beginning of my downfall. And look where I am now. I still like the country humans from time to time. I live for shipping and I'm obsessed with a cookie character from a video game. With all of this, no kid could come out normal. And even though my parents tried a lot to keep me safe from the internet, the lockdown and the fact that they were very abusive with owning the restaurant, specifically in the summer where I didn't have school for 3 months, all their efforts went to waste. Especially in the past 3 years after my dad got sick and died, leaving my mother taking care of two middle schoolers and the restaurant until she eventually sold it and we went to live a normal life with a new job, but she's still pretty busy even now. So I guess there's no hope anymore. But even if they couldn't keep me safe from becoming chronically aligned, they definitely taught me some lesson that kept me safe. Okay, I almost got my TikTok account hacked recently, but it was a one-time thing. So, I started posting my art in mid 2022 and I joined the art community, especially its commentary site. Somewhere around mid-late 2023, I watched videos before but never got into it until then. In fact, I really got fond of commentary in this community. I watch videos every day and wait for the artist I follow to drop their next video. But even if I'm late to the party, I watch videos that were years prior or talk about various situations. So I got an idea of the old times. And even then, I noticed a shift in the art community. Before TikTok, I posted art on the Country Humans Reddit. And even though my art was really shitty, they were very supportive. And I pretty much never had hate comments. Only some critics that were actually pretty helpful. Now on TikTok, every time I see art that is of a beginner, quote unquote unconventional or different from the TikTok standards, opening comments for me is like a Russian roulette because I fear that the comments are gonna be the most brutal backhanded comments in existence. And that's not normal. In no society should be normal that the first thing someone expects in a comment section is hate. And even if this video goes more specifically into the art community, it can be considered as a small dive in the internet culture as well. So, what happened? Based on my experience and watching videos that are years old, a lot has changed. Not only the community got bigger and attracted mostly minors like myself, but the current adults in the community were mostly kids or barely 18 years ago. Among the current documentary channels I know and follow, I could only say like two names of people who are actually over 18 and one soon to be 18, meaning that most of us are kids. We're young. Even the current adults are still pretty young. The only YouTuber I know in this community who's over 25 and still posting is Duchess Celestia. In poor words, our community is full of immature people, me included, who are still developing and only a few adults are actively trying to teach us safety and respect these days. Which brings me to my second point. Most of the quote unquote ancient art communities members, aka people before 2020, turn out not to be the best people. Even the ones who were kids at that time. And most of those people were very influential. How can we expect the younger folk to be nicer when not only they're immature, but their influence is full of people turning out to be horrible human beings? In many instances of bullying artists, even adults join in instead of educating about how bad it is to do it. Sometimes it was an adult who started the harassment campaign. Kids learn from adults, and many of them are as shitty as kids can be because of how immature they are. And I know, I'm not the best to talk about maturity. I'm not the most mature person. My emotional maturity can be the equivalent of a 5-year-old sometimes. But at least I admit it, and I wish to improve on it. Some people seem like they don't even realize it sometimes. And we're also part of the problem. The sudden influx of rage bait that includes racism, homophobia, anything grossly illegal, has grown up a lot recently. And I think one of the biggest reasons is us talking about it. Whether the ones we're talking about are also rage baiting or are actually serious. People, especially kids, see our videos and says, if these people get so much attention from this, maybe I can also get it if I do the same thing. And that's how it keeps happening. People will do anything for attention. But we cannot just stop talking about rage baiters altogether, because then people will start to believe that you can get away with anything as long as it's labeled as rage bait. It really is a double-edged sword in all senses, because whatever our choice is, it will have a bad consequence in the long run. And even though many here on YouTube are trying to educate younger people, such people are mostly on TikTok now. They scroll over there. Most attention spans got ruined. Even mine got ruined. I still can watch longer videos, but I usually only watch them while I'm falling asleep or while I'm driving in the meantime. And I doom scroll on TikTok until I find something that catches my attention. Also, with how the algorithm works these days, it's very easy to form echo chambers of people agreeing with the same thing. So even if there are people on TikTok talking about this problem, it mostly reaches people who already thought the same thing instead of new minds. And these days, people just don't want to think twice about their beliefs. Like I'm being for real here. No matter how much time we repeat the same thing, it happens over and over and over again. It's an infinite cycle that never ends. And even though the internet has always been like this, it only got worse. Especially now that moderation sucks, and we can clearly see it in our community. How many times have beginner artists been harassed for being new? How many artists got attacked because their art didn't fit the TikTok standards? How many times we fought over nothing? How many times the artists we put on a pedestal got exposed for being awful? We're asking ourselves, how did the art community end up like this? But while I was writing this, I realized that maybe we harvested this culture. This was meant to happen as soon as this community was born in the first place, especially after the inclusion of our commentary. It was only a matter of time before the first cracks started to show. After all, most of the people who recently got exposed for awful behavior were doing this in the quote-unquote golden age of the art community. It just got hidden for years. Nothing happened to the art community. It was just a ticking time bomb and it exploded. We harvested this environment and there was no way to stop it. Because as soon as commentary was added, the root of this community corrupted, and there's no way back now. The only effective way to stop it is if the community itself just died out. But we know that isn't going to happen, at least not anytime soon. And the effects will remain and be harvested by the rest of our current internet. This place was rotten to its very core. It was just a matter of time before it became visible. The 2020 pandemic did not cause the current toxicity like others said. It just sped up the process that harvested it. If it didn't happen, the cracks would have just shown later. People would have realized sooner or later the power of anonymity and exploded it anyway. It was all meant to happen, because the internet is a mere reflection of real life, shaped by our society and laws. In fact, you can see the internet got more right-wing recently. There's no way to build anything on the internet that lasts without toxicity and bad people. The reality will eventually show up. So, are we just doomed? Well, probably. But maybe there's still hope. As long as we exist, we can take action to improve the situation. How? Be louder. Because even though that toxicity has spread to inner spaces, it's still a small but loud minority. So we have to be louder with our positivity, support each other, make art no matter your skill, educate others. I know it's hard and I'm probably slightly contradicting myself, but it is a start. The improvement may be small, but it's better than nothing. After all, the internet can and might affect the real world as well. Hopefully, in the long run, we can make a slightly better world. Am I delusional? Probably. But we really need some positivity right now, otherwise I'll probably crash out even more. I have so much more to say, but I don't know how to put it into words, so it's best if I end it here. I apologize if there may be phrases that are hard to understand and a very bad audio. English is not my first language. I struggle with words sometimes, and I really do not have any professional equipment. Also, I'm not home alone. Please forgive me. You can follow me on YouTube and on TikTok to see more of my content. You can also follow my Twitter where I'm also pretty active. I guess that's it. I hope this video actually sees the light of day and doesn't become one of the many scrapped projects and videos I have. See you next time. Stella's out.